Hello and welcome to the Wednesday live stream. My name is Igor, and without further delay, let's take a look at our board. Okay, so this is the state. Let me briefly remind you. Open code, this is what we will take a look at today. We've started from creating a spec file. Then the next phase is an implementation plan. That's what we will do, or what we will take a look at, because that's in progress. Then the inter-agents communication. This is something I also started working off-stream, and I would like to bring it to Shikigami. And I put a high prior on it because this is specifically what I would like to use. For example, if there is a case that there are two different agents working on the same thing, because you would like to maybe save some tokens from Claude subscription, and then you want to use codex subscription, and without copy and pasting, I would like to make it easier for you and for me as well to send output from one to another, to automate it a bit, or at least make it more easy to use multiple agents. Then we will take a look at the manual verification, but that I leave it for a later step. And then a few things in to-do list. So let's go and let's see what we managed to do today. And there is also so most of the time recently we worked on the Shikigami application, and the Shikigami application is exactly what you are looking at now. So this is the Agentic IDE with the editor IDE space, and as well an agentic coding space that is actually empty, but let me demonstrate. So you can decide at this stage in the version 0.23, you can decide if you want to use code or codex, and to use code or codex or claude, you need to have one of these two or both available in your CLI, because the application provides a CLI wrapper to manage sessions and do actions like suspend, resume, stop, etc. So the first step is to decide what agent I want to use, then the model. There is a predefined list, but it doesn't mean that you only are limited to those. These are starting points, and then because this is a wrapper, as I mentioned, the application provides wrappers. You have full access to your CLI and all built-in functions to codex or claude. So let's just for testing purposes choose GPT 5.5, low effort, and for example I want to use 4 agents, and I'm gonna put a test name on them. So that's it, and now you have four agents available. So that's on the left. Then on the right side, classic IDE, where you can jump into the code, take a look at it, maybe modify it by yourself. So the key thing here is to allow developers to leverage agents that they like to use and make the whole work and the workflow easier to move forward. Let me also remind you that there is a built-in functionality for Docker. There is an integration with Docker. If you have a Docker enabled on your machine, I mean, if this is up and running, there is a built-in Git integration that we work on from time to time to improve it, and there is also a databases area where you can define connections to MySQL, MariaDB, or Redis for now. Then you provide credentials. You can decide as well if you want the connection to be read-only. If you want it to be read-only, then just please mark this checkbox. Then you can test connection, see what are databases available for that specific connection, and then decide which databases and which tables you want to see. And this is an example. So that's the Who is out of office localhost database. If you double click on any of it, then you have access to tables, data, and you can preview them. Last time we worked on this feature, we have extended the functionality, but let me explain that in more details right after starting a session, because we didn't work on who is out of office for some time. So actually let me first learn. Okay, let me first learn. I'm gonna choose, yeah, let's go with codex and Luna, because I would like to I will ask Agent to remind me what is available on our features list that we've prepared some time ago. It should be in the available in the project. Okay, let's skip it for now. I don't remember what the document is. So I'm gonna ask it for first five positions with a brief description. Maybe there is something that we could work on here. And now let's switch to Shikigami. So the idea as well, the key, one of the things that I wanted to solve with Shikigami is working on multiple workspaces, and that means in context of the application, that means there are different projects. So for example, you have a front-end application and you have back-end application, and you want to work on both of them at the same time easily. Then you just, all you have to do is just to go click on the plus button in the top right corner, and then you can decide, like choose the location and then start open a project, and it means it will be open it as a workspace for you, and then you will exactly see what we are looking at now. Okay, that was fast. Let me take a look. Okay, that's not the case. Let me take the documents. Okay, that is empty. Okay, this is a brainstorm. Okay, then it means that this list is somewhere else. Maybe we have that in the other board. Ideas list. Okay. So if that's the case, then let's close this agent. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I worked on it some time ago and I forgot. So let me take a look at the ideas list. And I remember that there was a one on the top that was about half days and hourly leave requests. And the second, yeah, that's correct. So half days and hourly leave request, I would be more into half days, and then a leave balance ledger. Yeah, so maybe the leave balance ledger and the audit trail. And I'm gonna start a Opus 5 high effort session for that. But wait, not in the main. Okay, so one more thing, a friendly reminder, so you can decide if you want to start a session in a project root as a working directory, or maybe you want to have a dedicated worktree, and that's exactly what we will do now. So I want to have a dedicated worktree for the audit trail feature. Okay. And now it's time for a prompt. This is a brief description of a new feature that we could add to Who's Out of Office application. So now I want you to read it, and we can start from a brainstorming session, then the specification phase after that. But before, let's start from a brainstorming session to prepare a better shape for this idea. Yeah, and if you didn't hear about about Who's Out of Office, this is an open source leave planner. Let me show you. Okay, so if you go to GitHub, you can find it on GitHub, Who is Out of Office, and then this is a PHP Symfony application. You can self-host it, it's free to use and open source, and it's specifically tailored for small and medium teams that would like to manage absences in an easier way. It has a Slack integration, it as well provides iCall feed exports with some customization options, and there is as well a role-based access, so there are three main roles: admin, manager, and employee as a standard user, and then there is a flow that you can simplify if you want, but if you don't simplify it, then the default flow is that someone is sending a request for a leave request, then a manager needs to approve it or reject it, and you can simplify that with enabling an auto-approve option, especially useful for small teams. I encourage you to take a look. There is as well two-factor authentication built in to improve security, and we use it as well in my company, and we are pretty happy. But yeah, now it's the time to maybe extend functionalities a little bit, and I believe that the audit trail feature will be useful, especially if there is a new year starts and you have some leftover days. So that in some companies it is required to differentiate these two ledgers, so previous year and the current year, with a new number of leave days. But okay, let's take a look at the questions. Yeah, so I believe this should be more like a system of records. Well, but I don't want to drop the current leave balance that I want to stay. Okay, Okay, so let's choose the option number 3. Okay, it thinks let's switch to Shikigami because that's the work that I've started working off stream. And that is about adding OpenCode agent to the application as a manageable agent. Okay. Okay, so I want you to include in the plan as well tasks that are required because of a code refactor that we need to do before implementing the OpenCode agent support. Okay, but I told you that this is the OpenCode agent support / integration, and there is also another thing. This is the agents communication, and I've prepared a spec for that. And the specification is ready. Okay, let me then start an agent. Okay, I think that is available on the main branch, so we have to create a new worktree for that specific feature, and I'm gonna paste the output from the previous session. Okay. Let's give it some time to process, and then based on that we will prepare an implementation plan, and maybe even during this session we will start working on it. Okay. Okay, great. So now I want you to prepare an implementation plan, and I want you to run a code review and architecture review by Shikigami architecture once the implementation plan is in place. Okay, so this is our standard procedure. So we start from a brainstorming session. If I only have a rough idea and I would like to clarify functionalities, then we move to the specification phase when there is a document created. And based on the document, there is an implementation plan created with some implementation details that are crucial for that specific feature or a bug fix. And hello chat, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And a friendly reminder, so the application is currently in the beta phase, but it doesn't mean that it has a lot of bugs. It only means that we are still working on providing new functionalities, especially in the editor area for now. We are in the process of building our custom PHP LSP server, because I'm mainly a PHP developer. But that's only a beginning. Then I would like to focus on Python and JavaScript, TypeScript. So these two areas, and then maybe, who knows, maybe a better support for frameworks, especially front-end frameworks. And what is important with the ledger, and I'm gonna tell that, is that we need to understand what days belong to what year, so to speak, what period of employment, if this is the last year or this year, and because there might be some policies that if a new year start, then days that were moved over to the current year from the last year should be used as first. If there is a request for a leave or an absence, and as well might be some time, a deadline in which they need to be used. Please keep in mind that I want to make sure that we will clearly understand what days belong to what a year period. Okay, there is a question. Okay, so leave it for a moment. Let's leave it for a moment and let's go to the Shikigami workspace. And I told you that there is one more thing I would like to improve, and I think I will entirely drop that feature, and that is a hidden toggle button. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. So hidden toggle drop, because it confuses more users than helps. Okay, and what the toggle is, so if you go to the editor area, then at the very bottom of the files list, there are two icons. One of them is search and the other one is a crossed eye. And I think I will just drop this feature. And everything should be visible. The only things I would filter out are DS store files from Mac, and then the rest should be visible, but marked as it is now as git ignored. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's take a screenshot. So first I'm gonna ask agent to learn more about it. Yeah, so we can point that that's exactly what we are talking about. Please learn and analyze the component that I've pointed you. Yeah, okay, so that's what we want. And so this is the hidden files toggle button that is present in the files list on the very bottom of that component. Okay, so let's give it some time. By the way, also what the application provides is a notification system. So as you can see, if you take a look at the workspaces tabs and then you please take a look at the second one, there are dots, and the second one has a dot that is glowing, and the color is this is a yellow color, and that means that there is an agent that is awaiting for our input. So let's go there. And let's take a look. Okay, now we are back online. I think you've lost me for a second. Okay, it should be fine now. Okay, good. Okay, so let's take a look at the who is out of office agent and the ledger feature. Well, in this case, we should take into the consideration a field that is stored on a user. Let me show you. That's infrastructure, then doctrine entities, and there is a user entity, and there is a date. So there is an absence balance reset day, and that's exactly what should be included in the decision to die, in the decision to differentiate what belongs to what period, to which period. Well, I have a feeling that we should store the period end. Let's ask it. This is a user entity property, and my question is if we shouldn't store a absence balance reset day in a sense that it's a period end date time. So if a request has been sent before that day, it means that it should be deducted from a balance that a user has before a reset happens. Okay, and let's give it some time and let's go back to Shikigami. How about the open code? Okay, so we have a list of refactoring changes. Before we move on with the open code support implementation, well, there are some differences, of course, and also there might be some trade-offs, some corners cut that we've made in the past. So now it's the time to make it straight before we add more providers, and in this case another provider, which is the open code provider, open code agent provider. Actually, there is one more thing I would like to ask it regarding the refactor, but let me take a look at the rest of these findings. Okay, but it is related, okay. Would it make sense to have a provider-specific session ID capture mechanism? And what is the reason? Well, the reason for that is that different agents provide different, similar but different ways to mark sessions, to create identifiers for them. So in Claude case, this is a UUID generated identifier. In case of the open code agent, the format is different. So, and from what I understand and from what I remember, we have one single handler for that. But some time ago, we've split the code base and created dedicated providers per agent. So I believe this could be added as well, or moved to per agent. The handling of identifiers. Okay, so let's give it some time. Then the inter-agent communication, okay, this is in progress. And now let's take a look at the hidden toggle drop. And by the way, if you have more sessions and you would like to focus on a specific one, then what you can do, you can click on the third button, and that brings a session to the front and makes it full screen. Okay, and that's exactly how it works now. So there is a blacklist constant value with a list of files, directories and files that we want to hide. But actually it brings more confusion and more problems than benefits, so I want to drop it. I would like to drop the hidden files button. And instead, what should be hidden are only files that are, for example, Mac specific, like .ds_store. And my question is if there are similar cases for Ubuntu. If not, then only directories and files that we will hide is the ds_store thing, and the rest should be visible. And then at the end I want you to drop this button and also clear tests that we don't need anymore. But before you do anything, I want you to analyze and create an implementation plan for that change. Yeah, so the key thing again here is to prepare a plan with steps, how to remove that feature, how to then clear test cases that we don't need anymore, and then at the end merge it into the main branch. It is always good to follow a repeatable process. Every time you do something, every time you work on something. If this is a feature or a functionality that might touch different points in your code base, then it is better to plan it and review it later. If this is a really simple thing like UI improvement or something like that I'm also about to do during this session, then you can skip the implementation phase. But that's not always the case. Most of the time we work on features or we work on bug fixes that might touch many points in our code base. And the UI thing that I would like to improve is exactly the thing that you are looking at now. So the quick start, this is a new area in the new agent form. We've worked on it last time, and that allows you to prepare a predefined agents with an effort model that you like for specific tasks. Like in this case I have 3 of them. So first one is Opus 5 High, then there is a codex that I've also tagged as an implementator, and then the third one is a Claude Post version that I use when I want to release a release post for the Shikigami application. And as you can see, like the UI is not that great, so let's improve it. So the quick start UI, and actually maybe that thing we can do on the main branch. It's not that complex, it's only about making it more beautiful. I don't want to change any functionalities. Here, okay, let's update it. So there are two ways to create configuration. First one is from the new agent form. You click on the new configuration, then you edit, and it's available right away. And the second way to do it, you go to the application settings, then you move to the predefined configs, and the list of predefined configurations is there, and you can click on the new configuration and then edit. You can also change a configuration that you defined in the past and then remove it. Pretty useful, especially if you have already a flow that you repeat most of the time. Then instead of clicking and jumping around models, you can predefine a few. A few of them. Okay, let's take a look at the hidden toggle drop question. Okay, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to hide only an operating system related directories or files. Okay. Okay, and we have the codex session. Let's take a screenshot. And let's mark what exactly we would like to improve today, and that's exactly that part. And let me also remind you that Shikigami supports drag and drop functionality, so if you take a screenshot, then you don't have to always keep it in the clipboard with copy and pasting. You can as well drop it into the area, into a session that you want to use it. So in this case, I'm gonna drop it here. And let me put a prompt now. Okay, so there is a prompt. I asked it to prepare, to improve the UI for the selected area by providing HTML designs and prepare at least 3 of them with 3 different states, which is the empty, 1, and 4 configurations. Okay, now let's take a look at the toggle drop. And no, I don't want to keep Shiki hidden, so a .shiki directory is a directory where state of your workspace will be stored for you, so the application doesn't use a database. Maybe will in the future, but for now it is all a files-based configuration. And that also means that you can, if you want, of course, you can keep it in the Git history if you want. I don't recommend it for now, but maybe in the future there will be something useful to store and share within your team, but that's not the case now. Okay, and this is a right question. So if we want to store a period start and period end dates per request or in a dedicated table, and I lean more towards dedicated table, because I guess anyway you cannot change a leave period if something is already in your calendar or was in the past. So let's not duplicate this information, let's keep it in a dedicated table stored per user, and maybe some additional metadata. Why not? Okay, so a dedicated leave period table. But then it also means that we need to prepare a mechanism that handles change on a user property if that happens. Please show me where that is happening in the Slack flow. Yeah, I would like to take a look at the code and then make a decision. Okay, so let's wait for it. Okay, and we're gonna have a change now with the hidden toggle drop. If we're gonna drop it, then it means that the show hidden boolean flag won't be stored anymore in the settings, and I would like to keep it for now, but I want to make a note about the that code at that field that in the future should be removed. Okay, but for now please make a note, mark it as a to-do. Yeah, tech debt, we can name it tech debt, to migrate in the future. And okay, I don't know what else should be included, so for now let's submit that list and let's move forward. Okay, once the code review is done, I want to then explain briefly what are the open questions and what are possible solutions for them. But I see that the code review is still in progress. The architecture review was done. Okay, but the main agent is still waiting. Okay, so and that's the class that is taking care of updating leave request when there is an interactive notification received from a Slack integration, and indeed we remove what was rejected. So that means that we shouldn't do it if we want to have a ledger. Okay, so to me it means that we should stop deleting and have a similar flow to the regular flow from the application. So it means the history needs to be preserved for the possible audit. Okay, good. So let's take a look at the open code agent. Okay, so please rewrite it to include findings and solutions. Okay. In terms of a characters limitation, we should have a hard limit. If something exceeds that limit, won't be included in the prompt. And as well, it doesn't have to be as big as you mentioned. It can be something around, let me take a look. So how big it is now? $47,000, 48K, 15,000. Yeah, sorry, it's there is a duplication. To me, that sounds like a fair enough limit. Let me know what do you think. Okay, and what are the other questions? In general, I want you to make, and no, I don't want you. I would like to say that we consider those inputs as safe inputs because this comes from a user and as a result of users' actions. Yeah, so the key thing here is that in the first phase of like a first stage of that feature, I want just to make it easier for you and for me to pass a part of an output from one agent to another. So you can clearly see what you are about to send to another agent, and on top of that you can add some additional prompt if you want. So from my perspective, at this stage it's completely safe to set, first thing 15k characters, and as well not freak too much about the security. Yes, it is important, but of course the agent is, I believe it is overreacting. Okay, so if you already have a sanitizer, then let's use it. We can we can increase the limit, and as well please include a requirement to provide an information that the output and additional prompt can exceed that. And as well, yes, please use the sanitizer since we already have it, and it's easy to use that in this flow. Okay. So yeah, we don't want to duplicate data. That's why in the previous step I chose that I want to join the history with the request, and that is fine. Let me take a look at the second question. And we're not gonna recreate history for the past requests. This isn't a commercial project, and I believe that this is completely fine if for existing users, like in our case, in my company, if we will just enable it, and from the day of once we enable it, then the history will be created. Everything that happened in the past, we skip for now. Okay, and how it looks with the Shikigami. Are we still waiting for the design options? What is the state here? Okay, there should be, I believe there will be a design available. Let me check that. Okay, well, it is, but the agent is still working on it, so let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, good. Let's take a look at the open code. Is it ready? Okay, so we have a plan. Okay, does it mean that the plan is ready for the implementation, or you need something from me? Good, and let's take a last look during this live stream at the who is out of office. So this is the specification for a model, for a data model, leave period entity. So we have ID, user ID, ID of an object, and the ID of a user. Then a start end date for periods, and this is correct. Allowance granted, that's the annual leave allowance, opening balance, closing balance. So okay, then we can provide a carryover mechanism for the next period when that was finalized as closed in this case, and also unique. Two indexes, one of them is a unique index, and then index for searching purposes. I think that makes sense. And then there is a ledger, the more important thing in this feature, I guess. So based on that, then we will have a preview for history of absences. Okay, even types and sources are included. Balance before and after, reason, and IDEs, foreign keys. Okay, that makes sense. And what is the... Okay, that makes sense to me. Could you now prepare a specification plan for that? Sorry, that should be file. Okay, and that's gonna be it for today. In terms of the Who is Out of Office project, and a reminder, if you would like to use it, you can do it. It's a free application, open source, available on my GitHub account. Please go there if you would like to try it. And the local setup is pretty easy. It's very easy. All you have to do is just clone the repository. Then if you have a just file support in your OS, then all you have to do is type just and then start in the terminal session in the root of the project. And if you don't have it, but you have a Docker configured on your machine and it is up and running, then all you have to do is just run docker compose up -d if you want it to be to run in the background, and then the database will be created for you. There is a database container, there is a container for Nginx, PHP and all other stuff, and even a mailer is there included. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it actually. Yeah, so there is an Nginx, PHP database, mailer, and database contains, or actually I should say that the PHP project, the Symfony project, has fixtures dedicated for it. So once you run it on your local, then fixtures will be loaded automatically for you. Okay, so and that is that. Now the agent will prepare a spec for that. Let's go switch to the Shikigami. Okay, and that means that we can already work. I'm talking about the open code, so that means that we can start phase 0 with a sub-agent driven approach. So let's do it now. Or you know what, now let's run the final review. So re-review. Then I want you to document the limitations just to make it clear. Okay, let's take a look at the toggle drop. Okay, this is in the specification is in the self-review. Then the agent's communication, the plan. This is the planning phase. And okay, so last thing for today, let's take a look at the UI changes for the quick start area in the new agent form. Okay, so that's how it looks like. So we have 3 different options, fairly similar. First 2 are fairly similar. But maybe making them bigger is the right way. It will be easier to click on them. Okay, and then the state, this is an empty state. Well, that doesn't make sense. That shadow here, we don't use it anywhere. Okay, and then there is a new here, 1 agent, 4 agents, 4 configurations. Actually, I should say. Yeah, so I guess the balance grid is the one that we will implement. So I want you to implement option 1. Okay, good. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Thank you chat for joining, for being here. Have a nice day, have a nice evening. And let me remind you, so this is the Shikigami application. This is an Agentic IDE. It's available for free and allows you to work on your code manually and as well in the agentic coding area, you can manage sessions of your agents. And for now, we support Claude Code and Codex, and the open code agent support is in progress. Should be available soon, maybe even this week. I cannot promise, but we'll do our best. And we are currently in the beta phase. I mean, me and you. So the application is in the beta version 0.33, but it doesn't mean that it's not usable. It is pretty stable, as you can see, and it provides a few functionalities out of the box, especially the Docker integration, databases integration, Git history, and a terminal sessions that you can run from the application. Let me show you. So that's how it looks. And you have a full shell experience. Same with agents. These are wrappers, so you still have access to all your favorite skills, all your favorite built-in functions into each of these agents. If you have questions or feature requests, please let me know in the comments section down below, and as well consider joining our Discord server. The link is in the description. If you have ideas or questions, you can find me there, and we can make the application better. And one more thing, the application is for free and will be for free in this shape at least. I don't have a plan to charge you for using them. This is just a project that I've built because of my own will to move away from a paid IDE to my own one, and I want you to use it as well. I want to share it with you, and the goal is to provide a rich agentic coding experience, and as well a very useful as possible IDE for classic coding. And recently we are focusing on a LSP for PHP language. In the future that should be as well JavaScript, TypeScript, and Python language. Okay, this is readme for me. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and see you next time. Bye bye.